Good morning and Jai Hind children. Today we will start with a new topic of your English grammar book, that is conjunctions. So first of all, let us start and let us know what are conjunctions. So conjunctions are words which join phrases, clauses and sentences. There are three types of conjunctions in English. First is coordinating conjunctions, correlative conjunctions and subordinating conjunctions. So let us learn about all of these in detail. Coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions and, or, but, nor, as, for, so. When they are used to connect two independent clauses together, they should be accompanied by a comma, which comes before the coordinating conjunction. So do not forget to put a comma before. Okay, this is important. Here are some examples of coordinating conjunctions in English and what they do. For, so for is used for present rational. They do not gamble or smoke, for they are ascetics. And presents non-contrasting items or ideas. They gamble and they smoke. Nor presents a non-contrasting negative idea. They do not gamble nor do they smoke. But, how do we use but? It presents a contrast or exception. So they gamble but they don't smoke. Or presents an alternative item or idea. Every day they gamble or they smoke. Yet presents a contrast or exception. They gamble yet they don't smoke. So presents a consequence. He gambled well last night, so he smoked a cigar to celebrate. So you can see how they can be used. Now, here is a small trick for you to learn all of them. So the trick is, remember the word fanboys. 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 So F for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. And all the teachers have taught you this the time we were taking the classes. Okay, and please remember that you have to put a comma first. Okay, before conjunction you are supposed to put a comma. So how can you use fanboys in a sentence? Okay, students have to read their textbooks. For each class is based on what students read. And earning a college degree requires a lot of dedication and it costs a lot of money. Nor employers do not want employees who cannot solve problems, nor do they want workers who are lazy. But going to school while working at a job is difficult, but the rewards will pay off later. Or students can either buy a textbook or they can rent one from a book rental service. Yet, learning can be very exciting and invigorating, yet it can also be very exhausting. So, studying means more than reading the textbook, so students should take notes while reading. Now let us learn about subordinating conjunctions. A subordinating conjunction is a word that connects a main clause to a subordinate clause. A main clause is an independent clause that can stand alone by itself as a sentence. So remember, an independent clause, okay? It can convey the complete meaning on its own. It does not need any other group of words, okay? In other words, a main clause does not need any additional information to operate as a sentence. A subordinating conjunction is a word that connects a main clause to a subordinate clause. A main clause is an independent clause that can stand alone by itself as a sentence. Okay, that's what I told you just now. In other words, a main clause does not need any additional information to operate as a sentence. For example, than, rather than, whether, as much as, whereas, that, whatever, which, whichever, after, as soon as long as. So there are so many. Okay, you can read all of them here. How to use subordinating conjunctions in a sentence? In English, there are lots of subordinating conjunctions, but the most common ones, along with a few examples of how subordinating conjunctions are used, are as follows. So, in the upcoming slides, you will know more about them. He is clever than I am. You must decide whether you will go by train or by plane. I eat as much as you. Elliot is tall and blond, whereas his brother is short and has dark hair. She went to the school that my father went to. I copied in my notebook whatever he wrote on the blackboard. The car which I drive is old. Bruce will wear his pink or green sweater, whichever is clean. Now, there are few common subordinating conjunctions. After, although, as if, as long as though, because, before, even if, even though, if only, in order that, now that, once, rather than, since, so that, than, that, though, till, unless, until, when, whenever, where, whereas, wherever, while. Okay, so you can see that there's a long list. In English grammar, there are two types of clause. So you must learn a little about the clauses as well. The dependent clause and the independent clause. And when a sentence requires the linking of the two, a subordinating conjunction is required. Okay, so in very easy language, you just came to know. Okay. Now, this is a very important part of English grammar which is essential to anyone studying the language. So, when do we use few conjunctions? So, there are so many conditions in which we use these conjunctions. So, first we will use it for comparison. So, how you can use them? Than, he is clever than I am. Rather than, I chose to learn German rather than French. Whether, she was uncertain whether to stay or leave. As much as, he doesn't earn as much as me. Whereas Elliot is tall and blonde, whereas his brother is short and has dark hair. Okay. Now, relative adjectives. That she went to the school that my father went to. Whatever, I copied in my notebook whatever he wrote on the blackboard. Which, he developed the films which he had taken. Whichever, Mary will eat chocolate cake or donut, whichever is delicious. So for time also, after Mari closed his diary after writing about that day's events, as soon as a baby deer can stand, as soon as it is born, as long as you can use my car, as long as you drive carefully. Before, he always feeds the dog before he goes to school. By the time ambulance men arrived, he was unconscious, and you can go and play now that you have finished your homework. Once, once you learn it, you never forget. Since Mary has danced since she was 5, till James lived with his parents till he was 25, until you can stay on the bus until you reach London. So, when Tom's parents cheered for him when he crossed the finish line, whenever we go abroad, we take as many pictures as possible. While I was walking to the market, I met Jenny. Concession. Okay. Though it was raining, she went out. Although the kitchen is small, it is well designed. Even though he is a millionaire, he lives in a very small flat. And relative pronouns, who, the person who made the mess needs to clean it. Whoever leaves last should turn off the light. He is the man whom I met in Greece. He was free to marry whomever he chose. She is the student whose handwriting is the best in my class. Place where, this is the park where we played. Wherever you go in the world, you'll always find someone who speaks English. And condition, if you leave, I'll be lonely. Only if a teacher has given permission is a student allowed to leave the room. Unless you won't succeed unless you work hard. It's a fact, okay? Provided that I was allowed to go off by myself, provided that I promised to be careful. I hope to go to college next year, assuming that I pass my exams. Even if you have already bought your ticket, you will still need to wait in line. I have my umbrella with me in case it rains. Study hard lest you should fail. Manner. She taught him how to play the piano. As they look as though they are heading for divorce. At sunset, the sun looks as if it is going down. For reason also, I love Matisse's work because he uses color so brilliantly. Since we have got a few minutes to wait for the train, let's have a cup of coffee. I'll go by car so that I can take more luggage. Do exercise in order that your health may improve. We eat that we may live. We played chess all evening as we had nothing better to do. So, few subordinating conjunctions. So, I have compiled all of them here in this picture. Okay, it will be easy for you to remember at what time which subordinating conjunction is to be used. So, for comparison, than, rather than, whether, as much as, whereas, for time, okay, after, as soon as, until, whenever, now that, confession, though, although, even though, relative pronouns, who, whoever, whom, whomever, whose, reason, because, since, so that, in order to, or as, condition, if, only if, unless, provided that, assuming that, place, where, wherever, relative adjectives are that, whatever, which, whichever, and for manner, how, as though, as a. Okay. Now let us talk about correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions work in pairs to join words, phrases, or clauses. The correlative conjunctions are either or, neither nor, both and, not only, but also whether or. Now, joining words. Okay, how can you join? My uncle is not only a doctor but also a pharmacist. Joining phrases. How do you join phrases using these conjunctions? All of these clothes are either too small or too worn out. Joining clauses. Either Monica will bring drinks or she will bring brownies. That's yummy. So correlative conjunctions are stronger than coordinating conjunctions and emphasize the relationship between the ideas being joined. Notice the difference in the following sentences. Cats and dogs make good pets. Both cats and dogs make good pets. Ron or Davy found my bicycle. Either Ron or Davy found my bicycle. Not only but also can be split apart. Even the second half can be split. Not only, cannot be split. Okay. Now, there is one more example here. I like not only ice skating but also hockey. Not only is he a great singer but he is also an actor. So be careful of the placement of the parts of the conjunction. It's important to remember that. Now, confusing. Okay. Either you must bring in your permission slip or stay home. The reader is left hanging waiting for the second clause. Okay. Or what one would be, which one would be better? You must either bring, see the placement, okay, see the placement of conjunctions. So you must either bring in your permission slip or stay home. So you must do one of these two actions. Also better, either you must bring in your permission slip or you must stay home. Now what is confusing? It was not only a long movie but also exciting. Better, the movie was not only long but also exciting. So this one is a better use, okay. It was not only a long movie but also an exciting one. Okay. So as you learned in the modifiers unit, watch where you put only. So where you can use, only where it would be confusing. Jeremy not only won a trophy but also money. Or Jeremy won not only a trophy but also money. So here we end it. Okay, I hope you all, understood whatever I taught you. And we have discussed all these conjunctions in the class, but I thought including more examples would make it easy for you all to understand it better. So in case of any doubt, as you all know, you all can message me anytime. So thank you so much for joining, children. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye-bye.